land shrouded in perpetual twilight, there was a forest unlike any other. The trees, twisted and ancient, whispered secrets of the wind, and strange shadows moved between the gnarled branches. This was the domain of Baba Yaga, the witch feared by all who knew her name. Baba Yaga did not live in an ordinary house. Her dwelling stood on giant, skeletal chicken legs, creaking and groaning as it roamed through the darkest parts of the woods. The house was surrounded by a fence of bones, the skulls of her victims impaled on stakes, their hollow eyes glowing with a sickly green light that kept the night at bay. It was said that Baba Yaga devoured children, stole the souls of the lost, and only those foolish or desperate ever dared approach her. She was the keeper of dark knowledge, the eater of lives, and her cruelty knew no bounds. One cold, moonless night, a young girl named Vasilisa found herself at the edge of Baba Yaga's forest. Her stepmother, crueler than winter itself, had sent her deep into the woods, hoping never to see her return. The task was simple: bring back fire from Baba Yaga's house. Vasilisa's heart pounded as she looked into the blackness ahead, knowing what awaited her. Clutched in her hand was a small doll, a gift from her dead mother. Her mother had whispered to her before passing, "As long as you keep this doll close, it will protect you from harm." The doll had eyes of glass and an eerie stillness, but Vasilisa felt comfort in its presence. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to close in around her. The wind howled, and strange sounds echoed from the shadows, like whispers in the dark. At last, Vasilisa came upon Baba Yaga's house, its bony legs creaking as it swayed above the ground, the fence of skulls gleaming ominously. The air was thick with the smell of decay and rot. Before Vasilisa could even knock, the door flung open with a screech. Baba Yaga stood before her, her long, bony fingers curled like talons, her face a twisted mass of age and malice. Her nose was as sharp as a raven's beak, her eyes like burning coals, and her smile, a jagged line of teeth, yellowed and sharp as knives. "What do you want, little one?" Baba Yaga hissed, her voice like wind through dead leaves. Vasilisa trembled but held her ground. "My stepmother sent me to ask for fire." Baba Yaga's eyes gleamed with cruel delight. "Fire, is it? Well, I will give you what you seek, but not for free. First, you must earn it. If you fail my tasks, you will stay here forever." With no choice, Vasilisa nodded, her fear growing. For the first task, Baba Yaga led Vasilisa to a vast, shadowy chamber filled with rotting grain. "Separate the wheat from the chaff before dawn, or you will join the bones outside my door." With that, the witch vanished into the night. Vasilisa stared at the impossible task, her heart sinking. But as she wept, the doll in her pocket stirred, whispering in a voice only she could hear, "Do not cry, I will help you." The doll's tiny hands moved faster than any human's, and by morning, the task was done. Baba Yaga returned, her black eyes narrowing. "Clever girl," she muttered, "but your trials are not over." For the second task, Baba Yaga handed Vasilisa a knife, its blade crusted with old blood. "Clean my house," the witch ordered, her smile growing darker. "Make it spotless, for I like my home to gleam with the blood of those who failed me." The house was filthy, filled with cobwebs, grime, and the lingering smell of death. But once again, the doll came to life, scrubbing and sweeping with inhuman speed, and by dusk, The house shone like polished bone. But Baba Yaga was not pleased. You think you are clever, but I have one more task. If you survive it, you may go. For the final task, Baba Yaga took Vasilisa to a well in the deepest part of the forest. The water was black as ink, and strange, shadowy shapes writhed just beneath the surface. "Fetch me water," Baba Yaga said, her voice like ice. "But beware, the creatures in the well are always hungry." Vasilisa stared into the darkness of the well, the cold air making her shiver. As she lowered the bucket, she could hear the whispers of the creatures below, calling to her, luring her to look deeper. But the doll, as always, guided her. "Do not listen," it said, "and you will live." Vasilisa drew the water and returned, her heart pounding. Baba Yaga took the bucket and smiled, her teeth gleaming in the firelight. "You have succeeded. Go. Here is your fire." Baba Yaga handed Vasilisa a skull, its hollow eye sockets glowing with a cold, unnatural light. "Take it," she said. "Let its light guide you. But beware, for it shows not only the path ahead, but also the darkness in the hearts of those you love." Vasilisa thanked Baba Yaga and fled the forest, the skull's eerie glow lighting her way. When she returned home, her stepmother and stepsisters rushed to meet her. But as the light of the skull touched them, they screamed. The fire within the skull revealed the hatred and evil in their hearts, and they were consumed, their bodies turning to ash before Vasilisa's eyes. Vasilisa was free at last, but the memory of Baba Yaga and her skull would haunt her forever. And Baba Yaga, she still roams the dark forest, her house of bones waiting for the next unlucky soul to seek her out.